The amateur television net is on every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Catch up with the latest ATV news, see the latest television projects, shack layouts and much more. A good time to ask questions about amateur television. We use local 2-meter liaison frequency FM simplex 147.400 MHz, and Berwick repeater 439.375 MHz. Every Tuesday starting 8 p.m.
Hello. Good evening, and I'm in my OB van control room this evening, so rather flash, I must think. Very flash. Yes, so my name is Ian and my call sign is VK3 Quebec Lima, and I have the pleasure of hosting the net this evening on the repeater VK3RTV. And we've got a few stations lined up. In a moment we'll pass to Peter, VK3BFG, and Peter will pass on to Clint, VK3CSJ, and if there's no one else on RTV1, Clint, if you could pass it back to myself, and we will be able to continue the net. And on this side of the fence, on RTV2 side, we have Mick, VK3CH. All right. Also, we have watching Richard, VK3VRS, Mark, VK3PI, and Neil, BCU. Also, I haven't actually got YouTube up at this point in time. Will it quickly happen? Yes, it's there, and if there's anyone checked in, we don't need the audio, do we? And we have David and Vince, VK3YVS. So good day, welcome aboard, and if you want to come up on the chat on the YouTube channel, the YouTube channel is, with a bit of luck, we can, and we have the details there. It's, no we don't. Let's try this one. It's being streamed on this stream on Richard, VK3VRS. It's also being streamed live on Discord, VK3RTV, Melbourne Melbourne ATV group, I believe is the name for the Discord group. Also, there's back recordings on Richard's YouTube channel, VK3VRS. If you happen to miss one of our earlier nets, that's available on Richard's YouTube. Right, without any further ado, I see that we have the Peter on the other channel, so if you'd like to start off, if people could go to RTV1, the net will continue on that.
Thank you, Ian, and good evening. Just turn that one off as well, just for the moment. I'm Peter, VK3BFG in Montana South. Unfortunately, I think I have a sad duty. I had an email from one of our Melbourne ATV group and it sent me to a site where amateur radio equipment for the estate of VK3RTV was there, and I'm assuming that that's Tony VK3RTV, who was an ATV operator for many years, and I remember one of Tony's crowning glories was he actually made the South East Queensland TV exciter PCB with a Dalo pen, and I think that was an extraordinary achievement. So if that's the case, and I'm accurate, it's unfortunate. Tony was living in the western suburbs in sunshine, and Neil 3BCU knew him quite well, and I think also Rob VK3IE as well. Anyway, just on to other things. A bit of debate on the WA ban plan. It's a draft out there for discussion, and people can respond to that draft as they feel they ought to. It does cover every amateur frequency from DC to daylight, so it's a very significant piece of work actually to put all that together. As far as ATV is concerned, it's about risk mitigation, and we'll just see where we go with that. We'll certainly be changing the local eastern frequencies here. Not much of a change really. We'll take it down to 1245 as per the band plan, and I've already had an experiment with that, and you can transmit on 1246, and 1245 still receives it reasonably well. It's just the robust nature of digital, but everyone's got frequency mobile exciters, so going down 1 meg is not going to be any problem at all, at least for that end of things. So I've also communicated with Bert Moderman with a view of seeing whether we can get the modifications that may be necessary, although we've done some experiments between VK3BVR Bob and also VK3YLH and myself, and the experiments are relating to seeing if you could operate on 1253 and 1245 without those two frequencies desensing each other, and then they're, the actual spectrum would be pretty much adjacent. But again, we used Bob as one of the weaker stations that we've got, who has to use usually a fair bit of wit to get into the repeater, and both Dennis and myself, 3YLH and myself, then tried to knock him off by transmitting on 1245, or Bob was on 1253, or vice versa. I can't remember which, but I couldn't, and neither could Dennis. So it means really that those two frequencies could run RTV1, RTV2. But anyway, we'll see how things go, just for the moment. Anyway, the next thing, I'd like to thank Stephen, VK3TTF, for dropping in a couple of new little AT Tinies, and I've now got the GT media box working, and I'll show it to you. It's hasn't got the top on it, and it's doing what it needs to do. I need to be able to see that it's changing channels visually, and I can certainly see that now, and it will receive quite well, and I have been receiving on it. So let's have a look at it. see if I can put that around there like that. We've got it over here. I'll try not to use shaky cam too much. We'll show you the insides there, but if you watch these two LEDs here, this one and this one, that's on channel 2 at the moment, and over here is my RTV emulator. So in fact it's changing between channel 1 and channel 2. See, it's now on channel 2, and it will come over to channel 1 in a minute, hopefully. There it is, over to channel 1 now, so it's also doing that. I've also got the key line there. I'll just hold it there. I missed it. We'll try and get it back. And wait for it to key back. This is holding it up for the moment. It won't pop while this is doing its break-in tail and all that. This is a full emulation of RTV, the way it works. So it's now got the logos up, and we'll see this working in a sec when this thing starts polling again. Okay, it's polling and it's on RTV1 now, and if you can see there, you can probably see, I've just flicked in and out, I'm receiving RTV1, and in the front there the green LED is on, which is the key LED. Now I'll have to excuse the shaky cam here because I'm going to take the camera off the tripod to do what I would like to show you with. Let's get this in here. And we'll move where we can see what we've got inside. You can see there's the, let's get this back as far as I can. Yeah, there we go. Let me get something I can point with. That's the main PCB, which I've taken out of the case. And over here we've got a little bit of electronics, and there's a little microprocessor there. That microprocessor is getting signals from the emulator down this white lead here. That's the RS-232 lead. That's emulating or sending signals to this little micro here. So when this micro gets an ASCII 1 from my emulator here, it will go to channel 1, and if it gets an ASCII 2, it will send the IR code down this line here to change the channels. Now what I didn't have was a visual version of that I could see on the front panel. So we've got the second little micro here, and this is the AT Tiny that Stephen 3TTF developed the software for, and that one I'm using to key this relay, which is then the key line for the main controller. So I don't have any of my processing that's in the main controller that you can access directly. This key line simply earths a line, and that then puts some current through optocouplers in the main controller, and therefore they're the electronics in the main controller is isolated. So when that closes, that's when it puts an earth there for the controller, and the controller then sort of says, oh, okay, we've got a channel up, and at the moment I've actually selected SRT remote, and down here these little switches, they simply represent an input signal that I can then emulate what's going on. So at the moment I just put the SRT on, or just put the first one on. I won't bother with going through the routine, but see here, if I go there, you can see it's got break-in tail, and it should then, it's waiting for a signal for a break-in, and it goes to the logos, and so it's going through the same sequence that you see on RTV. So there we are. So we've got now a GT media system going, and I have to put a top on this, and I'll have to put some holes in it to ventilate a little bit. We are actually receiving my transmitter, but it's keying on and off a bit. Mainly because it's polling. But there it is. I think you can see there's the receiver signal that's taking my signal. So it's receiving at the moment, and the green LED is on, and channel 1 is keyed up, so I can see that. Flickers on or off because depends on where you stand actually as to whether it keys up. Anyway, that's it for me for tonight, and it's really good that we've got another spare receiver. So Clint, it's up to you now. I'm on 1246, so you should be able to come up and transmit. So VK3CSJ to take it. This is VK3BFG waiting for you. You should be able to transmit over me because I'm on the back of the southeast antenna. Perhaps I'll drop off to make sure that Clint's going to come up. So we'll catch you all later. This is VK3BFG. We'll stay here.
Okay. The microphone somewhere about there, and bring that down about there, and then we do this. Righto, Mr. Brash. Thanks, Pete. Still too much audio there, I think. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's better, or just. Good evening, everyone. Good to be witches. And still too much audio there, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll knock it down a bit more. All right. Yes. Merry Christmas to everybody. Although I think we've still got a couple of weeks to go on that one. So I'm probably a bit premature on that. And anyway, we say evening to everyone, and trust that everybody is okay and looking forward to Christmas. I'm certainly looking forward to the break. I've got 5 weeks off starting from this week, as in the end of the week. Friday is my last time at SRX Global for this year. Breakup is actually on the 19th for the company, but I have no interest in attending the Christmas get-together. Not interested in all that nonsense that they go through, so I always take time off before all that, and so I've got 5 weeks. It's probably the first time in the 45 years that I've been working in this electronics manufacturing that I've actually taken so much time off. Traditionally, the factory always closes down over Christmas, so that's when my holidays are. I don't take time off during the year. So Normally it's 3 or 4 weeks, but I had some long service leave in there, so I figured why not. I've got a lot to do here. I'm really hoping that I can finally get things sorted out with the shack here, and that wall that you see behind me here will be partially removed, so I can extend the shack back to the end of the barn. That's 10 metres, well, another 4 metres behind me there. So yeah, just hoping to get all that sorted out, and I just hope I can motivate myself and find some sort of enthusiasm to do all this. But the main thing is, at the moment I've got no room to move all this out of the way, so I think I showed, it still seems like too much level there. Let me just bring that right down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyway, I think I showed you a few weeks ago that... What was that? Will you say something, Ian?
A bit low.
Oh, it's a bit low now, is it? Oh, all right. I'll bring it up then. 1, 2, because vMix is telling me I'm hitting right on into the red. So all right, I'll leave it there if that sounds okay. Yeah, so a few weeks ago I think I might have shown you that I managed to obtain a RF hut that used to be a Vodafone communications hut, located at a place called Tyres, just 12 kilometres north of Traralgon, I think, up in the hills, and it was being decommissioned. So I managed to, there was an ad on Facebook Messenger, Facebook Marketplace for it. A fellow down in Turadin, not Simon, but anyway, a fellow down in Turadin was had it up for about $2.5 grand, and I figured, yeah, that's the sort of thing I've been after. It's not a shipping container, that's the main thing, because Casey Council have this thing about shipping containers on private property. I reckon it's a bit of an eyesore, and they don't like it. You can have a shipping container for up to 3 months, and that's it, it's got to go. But as a permanent thing for storage purposes, they're not interested. And I said to them, look, I'm, if anything, I'm after half a shipping container, not a full 20-footer, but a 10-foot cube is, I think would do me a little bit for what I want to do, but still no. So anyway, I managed to find this, and it's, I think it will serve the purpose. That's looking inside. There's a couple of air conditioners. There's one that's already fitted in the wall. The other one I can probably get rid of. But you can see the cable trays at the top of the roof there, where cables were running in. And I'll look the other way. So it's looking out the door. And so it's all fitted with power. I just need to hook it up to a power point that's actually not too far from where it's sitting, which you can see again in the shot, just in the middle, at the lower middle shot, you can see a power point sitting there. So I'll arrange for a connection to that, so that at least I can get the light in there. You can see at the roof there's a light fitting, and at least it'll illuminate the inside of the room, and there's GPO outlets all around, so it'd be nice to have power on it as well. But anyway, that's I'm going to temporarily put a lot of stuff in there to free up some space here, so that I got room to move, and which would be really, really fantastic to do that. In the meantime, I think you are aware that I was working on my TS2000, which is slightly out of shot. Well, it actually is in shot, but the mic boom is in the way. In fact, if I go to this shot, which shows me, it's not a really flattering photograph, so I'll just see if I can just pull in my tummy, and just there you can see the TS2000 just there. So I'm trying not to look so fat. but I'm working on that at the moment, and there's a frequency counter behind me, so I can't breathe in anymore, so I'll go back to my other image. All right, and I'm looking at the TXCO oscillator. It should be adjusted spot on to 15.6 megahertz, and that puts everything on frequency. It was a little bit out because what was happening was the and of course this is a secondary issue. The frequency on 144.1 was out. So if I was monitoring 144.1 for any SSB calls, I'd miss them because it was actually a few hertz up, more or less. But as you stepped up through the bands to 70 and to 23 centimetres, it would be even further out. So the TXCO, I think that's the right term for that, was out a little bit. So by readjusting it to exactly 15.6 has brought down the frequency of the other bands, so it's a more tolerable discrepancy now. So I'm just monitoring it at the moment. You can see there on the frequency counter behind me, and just keeping an eye on things. But the other issue I had with the TS2000 was that it was falling out of lock on 2 and 70. It started falling out of lock on I mean, this is a 24-year radio. I purchased this brand new from Strictly back in 2001 when they were just basically being released by Kenwood. And I asked Ross to have the 23 centimetre module fitted, which took a week because they had to do it. Kenwood had to do it. And but it was a $5,000 radio after having the 23 centimetre module fitted. The biggest expense at the time for me for ham radio stuff, but a redundancy package made that a bit easy. So anyway, we purchased that, and that's been living with me ever since. And for all these years, I've never removed the covers. It was stock standard TS2000 that worked beautifully well. However, I did notice that the frequency was starting to drift over time. Anyway, so I've got that sorted out. But nevertheless, over the last couple of years, or maybe less than that, the 2 metres, when you're selecting 2 metres, it would fall out of lock. PLL would go out of lock. And the TS2000 produces error codes with the CW. So you'd get in Morse code the letters UL, and which meant unlock. So I managed to locate which board was associated with that, because 70 centimetres was all right, but after a while even 70 centimetres was starting to unlock. So as soon as you turn it on, the frequency would display for all of a second or two, and then it would disappear, and you'd get this UL in Morse code. What is that? Did-da, did-da, did-it, something like that. And anyway, so this is the PLL board that controls the for 2 and 70 centimetres, and that's the original board. So I went on to eBay, and fortunately there was a fellow over in the States that was selling a board that was working, reasonable price, and I just said, well, I'm snaffling that. So that arrived in a dogleg way, because it had to go through various channels before it finally got here, because it was an eBay item. And it arrived eventually, and it took me all of about a week to actually muck around and plug it in and see if it was going to work. But I couldn't wait, really, so I did it at about 3 o'clock in the morning. It's typical for me to do something like that, and it worked. I fired it up, and 2 metres was stable, and 70 centimetres was stable, and I thought, oh, phew. Because, you know, you buy stuff off eBay that's like this, and you never really know what you're buying, whether it's going to be working or whether it's a scammy thing. You know, it's not failing. You know, they say it's good, but it's not. I have a little bit of faith in folks. So anyway, it's working okay. So now that I've got a working board, I do want to fault find this one and get this working as well. And I suspect that it'll be a surface mount capacitor electrolytic or tantalum that's leaky, doing something funny, and I hope it'll be that simple and we can get this one sorted out. Anyway, so the TS2000 is working, and I'm currently adjusting the frequency, and before I put the covers back on, I'll do a few voltage checks on this PLL board and see if I can actually locate where things are failing. So in the meantime, the only other thing that's new here is I've got myself a new telescope. This is a Chinese-made telescope, as you'd expect, an SV Boney. It's a real boner, the telescope. And but this is going to be my solar telescope. Its focal length is about 800 millimetre, and that'll produce a nice image of the sun using this particular scope. It's all metal construction. And it took just 1 week. When I ordered this from AliExpress, practically by the end of that week, I ordered this on Monday morning perhaps, and it arrived here by Friday. So that's what you call speedy service. And safe and well, no damage to the box. I also have this camera, which will go into the spectrograph, which I've shown this already before, but that is a spectrograph that will plug into the back end of that telescope to the eyepiece. The camera will go here. That's the eyepiece that'll attach to the telescope, and the camera will be fitted here. And with that, I'll be able to look at various wavelengths of the sun. So that's another thing that I hope to be able to do over the summer break, is to get that finally sorted out and get the telescope finally functional. So when I can't do astronomy at night time, I can do astronomy during the day on the sun. So so that'll be looking forward to that. This is the actual camera, little tiny thing. So it's got little Ethernet connections there and USB-C connections there, and the camera is just in here, so that fits into that spectrograph. So there it is. Things are moving in that area, but as I say, I'm hoping that with the 5 weeks I've got off, that I'll be able to do not only muck around in here, but spend some time down in the dome, which you saw in this image here, just there. That's the scope dome, 3 metre scope dome in the background. Oh, the other thing too, just very quickly, because I can see we're using up the time. We've got a new fence now. You can see just behind the dome, there's a lot of blackberries behind that dome, and the fence is we've got a 110 metre fence that separates us from the creek in the background there and the property. And we've finally organised for a new fence to go in. So this is all the new posts that have been put in, and you can see how the blackberries have been mostly removed. Just another shot looking down towards Cranbourne Road. All that was overgrown. Where you can see, practically as far as you can see in that image there, it was overgrown. You couldn't see it. It was just horrible. So we've managed to clear all that off. and we've now got a gate that's in there, so we can bring out the ride-on mower and go cutting the grass along the creek if necessary. And it's very, very neat and tidy fencing. It's very interesting the way they've done it, but it's nice to have a new fence up. So yeah, things are slowly moving on this place, that's for sure. Anyway, all right, that's an update from the CSJ residents, and I again hope everybody is well. And oh, by the way, this Friday will be the last. This Friday will be the last ASV broadcast for this year. So I'll be taking 5 weeks off as well. I go back to work on the 27th of January, just after Australia Day, and so that Friday of that week I'll return with the ASV broadcast on Friday nights. So I'm having a reasonably nice sabbatical from the Friday night ASV broadcast as well. But I'll be still doing the WIA broadcast Sunday mornings and evening as well. So on that note, we'll pop it back to you there, Ian. Thank you very much, Ian, for doing it. You've been a fantastic job over these last few weeks. So excellent work as well. And we'll try and be here maybe next Tuesday. Don't know, it depends on how things are going. Because, like I say, once I start my holidays, I'll be getting into all this and things will be being pulled apart and things will be disconnected. So if I can come up on TV, I will. Well, I'll have to have something going because of the Sunday night, the Sunday morning WIA broadcast. All right. The DVB-T transmitter here, the Hydes one, it takes 30 seconds to start, Pete. So when you told me to start to fire up, I did. I clicked it on, but it takes 30 seconds before it starts. It actually steps up through power to about 1 watt. So it was warming up, so to speak. Back to Ian, back to RTV2, everybody. This is VK3, I had to say RTV, VK3 CSJ on VK3RTV1 Digital Channel 1, and if everybody could just go back to RTV2 to pick up Ian, and we're going to say a very pleasant good evening to everyone. So cheers, guys, take care.
Great, thanks very much, Clint. That was great. It's great to see the progress. A lot of work gone into that, so that's well done. That hut and the dome makes it look like a real Techo's dream adventure land. So good work. All right, and Peter, thanks for going through the GT media and the mods. A lot of mods going on, but at least we have it as backup. And I actually use 1, 2, 3, 4 of those GT media boxes. So yeah, I found them very useful and very versatile. So they're a great box and still available, I believe. All right, other models, makes and models are available, I'm sure, but I don't have them. What was I going to do? Mick is next. Are there any other check-ins while I'm... actually, I might just do a call out. Nothing heard yet. Let's try this one. nothing heard, so that's good. So that's myself and Mick. So let's what have I got? Let's go and look at the a quiz for. This is one of the standard quizzes. What do they call them? General question quizzes, and so that's one thing I've been working on with AI, which has been occasionally assisting and occasionally being very frustrating, but I've streamlined the production process for those questions, so I've been very happy with the work on that, but it's taking a long time. But anyway, let's go to some of the general questions. Just a reminder that the QO100 BATC nets that are transmitted at 5 o'clock Fridays at our time are available on my YouTube channel. So if you want to catch up on what the BATC guys are doing, that's available there. The last 3 weeks are available, and they usually go up about Friday afternoon, 5 a.m. and so after a bit of post-production work, they go up late Friday afternoon is the usual time, subject to not hitting any technical issues, which occasionally happens, but we've been keeping on top of it so far. I've been trying to tone down the bumper sound compared with program sound, so I'm not too sure how that's going. It's a bit hard to adjust sound when you're the sole operator, so I'm working on that, and any feedback would be welcome. All right, we might, if you'd like to get ready, Mick, I'll pass it over to you. But in the meantime, I was going to run with QO100. So let's have a look at the passes for the QO100 for the ISS. Let's have a look at the International Space Station passes for Melbourne over the next week.
Mobile CQ. VK5RR Mobile VK3RTV 5 and 9. K5IR, VK5 Charlie Papa. VK6 Mike Juliet listening. VK6 Mike Juliet, VK3J 5 and 9 into Melbourne, over.
I believe the packet system is now back on air. The ham TV is not powered on at the moment. It'll be hooked up for the schools on the air work that's been scheduled in coming weeks. The BATC site has all lots of useful information on how to set up your station to receive ham TV.
Did you know that a video edition of the WIA news broadcast is screened here, VK3RTV Channel 1 by Clint VK3CSJ, every Sunday morning at 10:30 a.m, repeated Sunday evening at 8 p.m.
Great. All right, Mick, I'll pass it over to you. Mick is in Doncaster. Reasonably powerful stone throw from here, and so I'll pass it over to you, Mick, on the same channel, Channel 2.
Alright, so audio, right. Yes, okay. Alright, g'day everyone. Mick, VK3CH operating out from Doncaster. And I might have to turn that down here a little bit more. Oh, grab that. Okay. Alright, Peter. News about Tony, AAZ. Very sad. I've visited him quite a few times, and yeah, very technical, switched on bloke, and happy to see people, and yeah, very good to have a chat with, and yeah, very knowledgeable and happy to share that knowledge. So yeah, that's the good thing about this crew, but we seem to be losing some of them. So yeah, don't know how many funerals I've attended this year. I suppose when you get to our age, that's the one of those hazards. So yeah, sad news indeed. There'd be a fair bit of amateur television gear and all sorts of other stuff at his property, that's for sure, that they would need to decommission. Alright, what have we been doing? We went up to the Neva Christmas do up in Wodonga, quite a fair way to drive for a bit of steak, but we went up the day prior. The ex-wile insisted, no, we're not going up there and back in the same day. I would have happily done that, but anyway. And on the way back, we went to this winery that she likes going to, and got a couple of cases of some nice muscat, which even I like, and I'm not really that into wine that much. So now, as an example, there's the picture there, and as you can see, the plate down there, that's a lovely piece of eye fillet steak, and the mushrooms are extra. That cost about, I don't know, $49, I think, 48 or 49. Now the club, for the members, you pay your club membership of $20 a year, so I'm paying single $20 a year. I could pay $10 a year for a concession, but I'd feel like I'm ripping them off. But the club pay for your meal. You pay for your drinks, but they pay for the meal because they're getting rental off their 3 repeater sites. So the club is doing quite okay. So I ate a $50 meal. The ex-whale ate a $50 meal. So there's $100 for a $20 membership. So you're essentially gracious So yes, for the members that live up there locally, a really good deal. Just probably a 10 or 15 minute drive across town to the pub, and yeah, eat your membership and then some. So yep, but yeah, it's down to the shrewd work of about 4 individuals that have a lot of patience dealing with government departments and know the right way to sort of do things and get results. And yeah, that's the result of quite a few years' work. Like people say, yeah, we'll get a site and we'll apply for a license and we'll whack a repeater up. Yeah, about 3 to 4 years' work from the idea of that coming out of your mouth to a finished product. And yeah, a lot of greasing of wheels, and yeah, but you've got people that have been in the industry and have worked for government, both local and state, and they kind of know how it all works. So the results prove. All right. What else have we been doing? I've been playing with some Raspberry Pi. So I built a network attached server. So it's just a simple solid state drive just hooked up and plugged into the router with a Pi controlling that. And this one here is that is not a memory stick. That is actually a solid state drive with all the music on it. Only $45, and that's just a normal flash drive, the red thing on the side. What I used to hate about the Raspberry Pis for many years is, you know, they'd only boot from an SD card, and you sort of had to hand off things to other devices if you wanted to, and it was, you know, you could do it, but it's very, you know, a lot of mucking around. And now you can flash them and have them boot straight from the USB drives, like the USB hubs. What if you put on it so that could be, you know, a memory stick, or actually, yeah, a solid state drive just that looks like a memory stick, or something more substantial. So that opens up a whole heap of, you know, wide-ranging things that you can do with it. So this is the thing using Volumeno, I don't know, it's an Italian thing. And it's actually an operating system in itself, just for streaming music, so that's all it does. So that means this Raspberry Pi, which only turned up at lunchtime, and I've already got it set up, took me about probably half an hour with a couple of telephone interruptions. If I wasn't interrupted, you could probably have it up and running. Well, I already had all my music catalogued. I went and ripped all my CDs that I've got, you know, just converting to MP3 files. That took me about a month. Yeah, got a lot of CDs. Ended up with about 86 gigabytes worth of music, I think 13,000 songs. But of course that's, you know, every single song on an album, so, you know, you mightn't listen to all of them, but yep. So yes, so that'll be commissioned. There's an amplifier. Instead of clocking the signal out of the Raspberry Pi, and it sounds pretty horrible, well, you know, for a pure audio file, there's a little hat thing, a digital amplifier that there's 4 different flavours. There's one that's just got line out, there's one with a 35 watt per channel, and that's the one I've ordered. That's coming from Sydney, so that might turn up in about a week's time, and it just slots over the top. You know, you've got the those header pins on the side, and it just plugs into that with some spacers, and yeah, no soldering, no anything. And the software is already configured. When I plug it in, you just got 4 choices, what kind it's in, and you just tick the box, and, you know, 15 seconds the software is configured. It's almost like tick the box. some of the earlier stuff I've done with Linux, it's like, oh, it's a big learning curve and you've got to type lines and lines and lines of code. This is almost like plug and play. It's almost like Windows stuff. But anyway, so I think I've got a couple of spare speakers under the house, unless I flogged them at a ham fest. I can't remember. I'm going to have to go and dig through what's there. I think they're still there. And they can be installed in the kitchen somewhere, and then we can just run a couple of twins for the speakers under the house, and yeah, you control it with your mobile phone. So yeah, you just have the little app on your phone, queue up what songs you want. I'll put it through its paces today, you know, volume up and down, whatever you want to do, and it all works. Or you know, you can just dial it up on your internet browser. Now I don't know if I've dropped out or not. We're back.
All good.
Still good. All right, just my TV says I'm very jerky. All right, well, that's probably about all I've got for this week. So, yep, catch you all next week then. So, yeah, probably the other bits of the pie will turn up and I'll tell you how it all panned out, and maybe I can shoot a bit of video on how it all works. Okay, catch us all back. I'll hand it back.
Right, thanks Mick, and yeah, no, good segment, and yes, great meals. So excellent, and good value at that club function. All right, what else? All right, so I was going to look at the Melbourne weather and Tropo. So what we have is the weather for the next 5 days, and it's going to warm up over the weekend and Friday at the weekend. So yeah, so that's going to affect the tropospheric conditions. So let's look at the forecast. We have yeah, some interesting, some very healthy ducts coming up on the weekend. So between Tasmania and Victoria and South Australia. So not quite into New Zealand, but you never know. That purple, it's amazing what can happen when there's purple coverage over water. You can actually, as this is just a forecast, it can become a bit more intense, and yeah, get quite good conditions, especially with the digital modes. So anyway, thought I'd just touch on that. And what else do I have? I have a second quiz, so let's go to a quiz. Let's take a quick trip across one of Australia's southern states and survey the world of digital TV repeaters in VK3. First up, we land in the historic heart of Victoria, Bendigo, about 150 kilometres north of the state capital, Melbourne. Check in with VK3RBO, live with weekend action and link through to Whereby, DMR and D-Star. Catch the live feed on the BATC stream site at VK3CE and check the description for the latest news. Next we glide west to Geelong, just 75 kilometres from Melbourne. Here the brand new VK3RGL digital TV repeater is in test phase high on Mount Anarchy. Sneak a peek on the BATC stream listed under VK3GL. Then eastward to Mount Waverley, home of our very own VK3RTV repeater, servicing over 35 stations and countless viewers. Join our lively Tuesday night net at 8 p.m, streamed on YouTube and Discord. And as spring gives way to summer ahead, let's dive into Melbourne's famously unpredictable 5-day weather forecast.
For live news on the planets, cosmology, sunspots and more, every Friday at 10 p.m. Clint VK3CSJ presents the Astronomical Society of Victoria broadcast on this amateur television repeater, VK3RTV Channel 1.
Right, that's quick. So that's what did we cover in that? Yeah, a lot of information, but anyway, the quiz was a bit tricky in spots there, so I hope you enjoyed those. Got a few more coming up too. That's what they're working on, AI and programming and PowerPoint and Visual Basic for applications and all the delightful things there. So that's been a bit of a challenge, but I think we've got there. All right, calendar of events. There's not much on to report. Saturday the 17th and Sunday the 18th of January, there's the summer UHF microwave field day. The weather is usually conducive, and certainly the tropospheric conditions usually are in our favour for that event. Ballarat Radio Group is right at the beginning of February, so yeah, so that's always a good turnout there, and lots of pre-loved items available. All right, on that note, I will come back to something. Bang. All right. So that's all I've got for this evening. It's great. Thanks for watching. If I check what is happening on YouTube, if I can find it. Oh, there it is. And yeah, so I don't have anyone else coming on. Richard said hello, so he's about. And there's a mystery net controller next week, so yeah, that should be something to watch out for. The mystery net controller for the next week. So it's been great to host it for the last 4 weeks, and look forward to seeing lots of things for the rest of this year and into the new year. Thanks guys for coming up, and by all means, we've always got spare spots at the moment for other stations to come up too. So if you can, just pop in and say hello, and just let us know you're still about. That'd be great. All right, that's all I have, and thanks for your interest. Catch you coming up in the next few weeks. Bye. And it's good night from Lucy.
Roger, I think they were the easy ones actually. But anyway, yeah, we'll always enjoy the quizzes. Well done. This is VK3VFG.